sometimes that's the hard thing. You know, a lot of the kids, they're very rebellious, and because they're rebellious, like they're eager to learn, they're eager to do all of these things, and they want to know how to. It's just that they don't see that representation.
Happy hello, and welcome to another episode of your Heard It Here podcast with me, BTC Heard. So I'm just super excited today that you decided to listen, not only tune in because we have a special guest here in the DMV. I am fortunate enough and honored to have here on the show. Let me introduce you to this phenomenal community advocate, speaker. We're going to talk about that more too because you know I want the tea. And so everyone say hello to J Flow.
What's going on, world? How y'all doing? I'm just blessed to be here. Thank you for just inviting me on your platform, man. I'm ready. I'm active, man. Let's get it. Let's go.
Go, because look, if y'all have not tuned into his Instagram channel, which is JFlow3, right?
Yeah, JFlow301 MD, yes.
301 MD, yes. Please correct me, honey. Yes. If y'all haven't tuned into this gentleman's Instagram, it is absolutely phenomenal because every single day, like clockwork, which I want to, first of all, applaud you on the consistency and also to just how you give yourself to others, to uplift others. Like that's an amazing thing that you do. So I applaud you on that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
What gets you inspired to get up and do that every single day?
Well, I'm nothing without God and my family and support system. So like it just really just, I just carried all three really. And like July 5th, 2020 is when I started.
Okay.
So like it was just more so like whatever was on my heart. I feel like COVID sat everybody down for real. So I'm like, all right, well, God, what's next? So I was praying on it. And I just went live, started talking to my friend. We was talking about mental health and things of that nature. They were like, all right. And the next day I just did a motivational video. So Monday led to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I just kept going.
I love it. And I love the fact that you mentioned mental health, because especially within our community for those of us of color, and as well as whether you are a Black male or a Black female, sometimes mental health can be stigmatized, but I think it's becoming a lot more open topic right now.
Absolutely.
So for you, what does taking care of your mental health mean to you?
Just making sure that you're sharp, like you're on 100. Like I know coming up, I didn't really pay attention to my mental health. So it was like, okay, I go to school, I do all of these things, but not really pay attention to like my mental state. Like certain places just physically showing up, but like mentally it's like, I want to be here or whatever like that. So it was just more so of that. And then I realized, okay, I love to write, I love to read. So things of that nature really played into the mental health, making sure, okay, cool, I'm journaling every day. I'm making sure that I'm reading every day or taking a walk every day if I need to without my phone and just decompressing because I didn't realize how much I was consuming when I was little.
I like that. Was there ever a moment, and again, you can feel free to share or not, like this is one to be an open and honest conversation. You can be as transparent as you like to be, but has there ever been a moment in your particular experience where you may have had a breakdown? How did you bounce back from that?
Oh yeah, plenty of times. I remember like, even when I was rapping before doing like motivational speaking in the community work, I remember I was doing a show and like I didn't get the response I wanted really in a sense because everybody be like, oh yeah man, you got song is dope. So I really was like focused on just performing and really ego driven at that time, to be honest, and I wasn't really taking account of everything else that was going around as far as like the people, environment, and things like that. And the response that I didn't get that I really wanted really brought me down. So I was discouraged for a little bit, but I had to go back to the drawing board and just tell myself like, all right, well, hey, look, it's another show. You be all right. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay.
Well, I like that. Tell me about your community involvement. I know that in August you just had a backpack drive, right?
Yeah.
And which thank you for that because a lot of students and a lot of people, especially in the DMV, with a lot of different possible government shutdown and just going back to school and inflation, like a lot of kids actually needed those supplies. So thank you for your service in that.
Appreciate you.
But tell me tell me some more about what other parts of the community you were involved in here in the DMV.
Okay, so I want to say like November 6th, 2020 is when I decided to do the podcast. And I was doing the podcast talking about, community mental health. I graduated from Bowie State University, so shout out to Bowie State University.
All
Shout
right.
out to Charles Herbert Flowers High School too.
The
Proud,
flowers.
yeah, yeah. So I got my degree in communications. I was talking to my professor. My professor was like, "You talk about the news a lot, so you may want to do something with it." So as I was watching the news, I didn't really see myself in it. So that's what really made me start, Grind Hard Dream Big, the podcast. So top of 2021, um, I started doing community work. Shout outs to my community mentor, Miss Kimberly Marshall. She
Mm-hmm.
saw my motivational videos and stuff. So we had a conversation. She was like, "Yo, you want to get involved in the community? What is it that you want to do?" So we started partnering on stuff.
Okay.
We fed the homeless D shelter in DC, and then after that we partnered again and we did the Dave and Buster's event, and then we did the back to school, and we've just been locked in ever since.
Okay. One. Okay, flowers is cool too, but Clippers, even though I am also team Omar
It's all good.
colors, that's
PG
good.
County, PG County.
BG County. I do like the fact that I just learned something new is that we have our degrees in the same thing. I studied communications too at Bridgewater College,
That's
so in
what's up.
Virginia. Not to say I wish I would. Yeah, I will say I wish I probably went to HBCU, but hey, here we are.
Yeah, that's what's up.
And another point that you also made is that you didn't see yourself reflecting in the news. And at the time, that's what I was also interested in. And I remember this one time where my friends and I, we drove out to Baltimore, right? I think it was for Freddie Gray. And right after he passed, we went to go do a protest. And by the time we got there, because Bridgewater and Baltimore are like 4 hours apart, we got there and we saw like police actually barricading and actually throwing like pellet gas and everything. And then what we saw were the people that they probably would call like gangbangers or whatever in that neighborhood actually trying to help the people out. There was like the part of the looting in the city weren't happening by the people actually of those neighborhoods. They were happening by people who just were coming in and trying to take advantage of the situation.
Right.
The next day on the news, you see a completely different story.
Wow.
About what was happening. And I'm just looking at the news like I actually was there and this is not what happened. Y'all completely have spun it into something completely negative, and you didn't actually reflect the true facts about that night on I think it was North Fulton Street. All they showed was like the picture of the burning car, not showing how it got like that or anything like that. So I do like the fact that when you said you didn't see yourself reflected in there, like I can definitely relate to that because that happened to me and similar to my journey and getting into speaking and things like that. So do you have a mentorship program or anything here in the DMV?
So I give opportunities to like youth, and
Mm-hmm.
when I say that is like more so it's like I really truly believe like being who I needed when I was younger. And what I mean by that is like the resources and the things that I didn't take advantage of. Now that I'm in position to do so,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, why not provide that? So like prime example, shout outs to Anaya Stevenson. That's a young lady that I mentor. She um, is a rising star. She does, music. She's studying pre-law right now at Elizabeth Seton,
Okay.
and she's doing a lot of things in the community as well. So, you gotta love it, gotta love it. Also, one of my engineers for Grind Hard Dream Big, he's a senior, Devontae Henson, at Fairmont Heights. He runs media at Fairmont Heights.
Mm-hmm.
So just seeing these things, I really believe that, okay, a lot of kids have dreams and aspirations. So because they have dreams and aspirations, it's up to us to really meet them in the middle, meet them where they're at, and take them where they deserve. So that's what I really try to do when it comes to that, and even showing them how to be a leader when they want to volunteer, community service, and things of that nature. Because this is what we need. They need role models and things like that. So I never really viewed myself as being a role model or a leader, but I definitely embrace it. So
Okay.
it's here, so I accept it. Like, yo, if I'm a role model, I'm a role model. I'm a leader, I'm a leader, but I'm just gonna be who God called me to be. That's it.
Wonderful. What do you think makes a good leader?
I think a good leader is someone who has a vision, a sharp, like laser focused vision where they know either what he or she wants to do and then being coachable. And I think that was hard for me at first, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest, because it's like, okay, we have these ideas, we see things one way, and it's like, oh, are you the type to get insight, or you're just going to be like, all right, let me go ahead and get feedback. So I'm realizing in this space that listening to understand as opposed to reply is really, really good. And Kimberly Marshall, she does a great job and just letting me know like, okay, cool, we did this, but we always got to elevate. We always got to think what's next. And we always have to have time to reflect on what we do because we just don't want to do things just to do things. We want to definitely be intentional and
Mm-hmm.
definitely be genuine about that. So I'm learning a lot from her, and she's taught me a lot, and I'm extremely grateful in that space for her, and then especially in the speaking space where I'm traveling. So
Okay.
yes.
I want to circle back to something you had mentioned. You started doing your podcast of basically right in the middle or at the start of the pandemic. What's the name of your podcast?
So the name of the podcast is Grind Hard, Dream Big,
Okay.
and the slogan is "The harder you grind, the bigger you dream."
Oh.
And yeah, I truly believe the more work you put in, the more dreams that you're gonna really start envisioning for yourself. I think the biggest thing now is our imagination. All across the board, whether you're a baby boomer, you're, millennial, Gen Z, Generation Alpha, generations before that. I think the biggest thing is the imagination. So how to get people to imagine, dream, and just keep going to have that push. So that's what really inspired it.
Okay. What is or who is your biggest inspiration?
Ooh, that's a great question. I would definitely say my mom and my dad.
Okay.
It definitely seen a lot of me when I was young. Like my mom, she always told me, stay in the books. You're gonna go to school, you're gonna do your thing. My dad taught me the hard work part. So the whole notion of like the consistency and what people see in the motivational videos, or just the type of person I am in general, is just the hard work from my dad and the brains and the intelligence from my mom. Really,
I
just
love it.
smashing the two.
So we are in a coaching circle that is ran by our mentor, Backpack Jeff Young. What made you join the Winner Circle?
So I believe that for me, I didn't really. I was dipping dabbling with speaking, so I wasn't really like 100% sure. I
Mm-hmm.
just looked at my social media and I was like, all right, cool, this is what I'm doing. But I feel like it could be amplified in a way. So I knew that podcasting was a thing for me. I knew that community work was a thing for me. Speaking, I saw a glimpse, but it was like, okay, if I can see it full throttle to become better and understand business more and just speaking more of what I'm doing, to take it serious, I had to invest in myself. So I saw him his story, and he was talking about, hey, I'm trying to meet up with some entrepreneurs or anybody that has any business ventures, things like that. So, I reached out to him, pulled up on him, showed him my page and everything, and I shared my ideas with him, and then he was like, "Hey, look, I'm willing to help you." And from that day forward, I locked in, and I realized that I needed someone to hold me accountable more into the goals and stuff. Like, sure, I have friends, but sometimes people don't hold you accountable. Some people are looking at it like, "Oh, all right, well, you just gonna do whatever." But he definitely held me accountable, and I realized that I'm learning a lot more about the speaking space and just me really investing more in myself. So shout out to Jeff.
Mhm. I love that. So, one thing that you had mentioned earlier about being a good leader is being coachable.
Yes.
I think it's very important because that's something also too I had to learn, not even just within my own entrepreneur journey, within my career in management for over like 10 years or so. Being coachable is a very necessity. I think some people don't necessarily get until maybe they go through it. And then you also mentioned about having someone hold you accountable.
Yes.
Are you intentional with the people that are around you or in your circle?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that everybody knows me. Like, I'm really that therapeutic friend in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, yo, okay, man, like you feeling down? Nah, get right back up. Like I will, cheer you on. I will be here for you. I will support you any way possible. So I think because I'm a natural giver at that too, I have a heavy heart. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just more so that. And then everything that I do, I don't, I literally move how I just feel like it's just heart driven. So it's like, okay, if I do something, I don't really expect anything in return or anything of that nature. But I know that boundaries is something that's very, very important. I'm telling myself in this season for sure. Yes, boundaries is very, very important.
Oh, boundaries. You don't have them, get them.
Yeah, you definitely need them. I think everybody needs them definitely, especially in the work that you do personally. and of course, professionally as well, because like boundaries, that's a big thing, and that's what you could constantly learn, for sure.
Have you ever had to cut someone off because they violated your boundaries?
I did. I was actually afraid of outgrowing certain people, but I realized I had to,
Mhm.
because of where I wanted to go in life, and I feel like it's hard. It's a tough pill to swallow because sometimes you want everybody to be with you. You want everybody to be happy. Like, yo, this is what we talked about, and now all of a sudden it's here. It's like, oh, you're not ready. Things like that. So I'm just learning that everybody can't go with you. So I mean, it was hard for me to let go because it was like, yo, like like one of the homies that really thought about it, a long time ago, and was like, yo, I'm down. But then the opportunity came, and we, just wasn't on the same page. But at the same time, I learned that, hey, look, the show keeps going on. You know
You
what
want
I'm
to
saying?
give me some more tea on that whole situation and
So
go talk
basically,
it out?
I could say,
Because
so I
come
was,
on
yeah, I
now.
would basically, so I would basically say that it was an endeavor where we were gonna do some community work, and we talked about it. I was all for it, but you know, uh, the vision and the alignment wasn't there. So because of that, I'm saying, the person pulled back from it and just was like, "Nah, I'm not going to," but never really explained why. And just left it at that.
I'm gonna ask, even though you kind of just said they never explained why. Have you all had interactions since then?
Um, no, we really haven't, but I wish him the best. Because I know that he works hard, he does what he needs to do, and we're just gonna continue to grind. And like I said, I wish him well. It's okay. I know everything isn't for everybody, so it's all good.
What would be your advice? Because before I spill my tea on my situation like that, what would be your advice for folks who are dealing with, maybe I want to say, either partnerships or friendships that may sometimes, like you say, fall out of alignment because the vision and you guys weren't on the same page? What would be your advice for them?
I would definitely say communicate. That's the biggest thing. Like, even if you have to reiterate what you have to say or bring it back full circle, really communicate, because someone's not gonna know unless you communicate that information. Like, sometimes I know for myself, prime examples. Like, if I do something, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I can't make the assumption that you want it like I want it. Like, if I
Mm-hmm.
do an event, like, all right, bet. Like, prime example, like a back to school event or just anything in general. Like, if if it's our event as a collaboration, then everybody should be on the same page. But if it's like, yo, it's your event and you want me to go ahead and carry it more, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. But I think communicating the expectations of everybody that's involved, making sure that everybody's on the same page, that's the biggest thing. If everybody's not on the same page, then that's when you got to adapt, adjust, pivot if need be, or maybe postpone and do what you need to do and go back to the drawing board. So that way it's effective, all across the board. Because when you're doing events in collaboration, it's not really about us as the individuals. It's really about the people and the community that we're serving. The intention. So yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Okay, I like that. I think one of my next questions would be, do you consider working with friends or family a hindrance or a positive
I think it can be a hindrance at times, but majority of the people I work with, we've built relationships over time that has gotten to a point where it's like family in a sense. Like I said,
thing?
shout outs to Dare to Be Different, shout outs to Bullet Academy. No opportunities wasted. Uh, it's other people that I've worked with as well, but building that over time and understanding how they work and understanding how they move, that's very, very important. So it's like, okay, if I holler at them, yeah, we already know what we need to do. Okay, all the I's is gonna be dotted and the T's gonna be crossed. So we're good. But when it comes to like working with new people, it's just more so understanding the intention and then how it can align. So like, I know for myself, like, I do community work, but then I also speak. So everything may not be, oh yeah, we do this community work together. You may feel like, all right, well, I'm doing this event. Hey, Jay, come speak here, or hey, how can you add value here? So there's always ways to add value. You just have to know how to in the situation.
I think that's important. I will say that for me, especially since we're both entrepreneurs, that I have recently entered into a partnership with one of my good friends, but also two. It like we've known each other for over 10 years. Like I've known his wife, been at his wedding, and with like the injury that I'm currently dealing with, having to have he would be the only person I possibly could think of that I would partnership with because I trust him, not just because we have worked together. We have the equal respect for each other. I think that's really important when you have respect for one another when you're dealing with those events
For sure.
or dealing with any type of partnerships, is because a lot of people don't know how to be friends. And also, too, when it comes to the business aspect, to know the difference in between, like, okay, this is not just a kiki or we're just having like a kiki event. We're actually both doing this for the betterment of both of our businesses and have the mutual respect.
For
I
sure.
think that also comes to maybe a maturity thing um, as well, to be honest, because doesn't like age doesn't expect wisdom,
Right.
but also too a lot of people just don't know how to probably separate the boundaries and know that all right, we can kiki about this later, but right now we gotta focus on the business. Have you ever experienced anything like that when you've done your community events?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it where, like I said, sometimes it's like, all right, bet. Like me, I'm normally like a point guard when it comes to some of the events. So I'm like, all right, bet. Just try to make sure this is good, make sure that it flows. But I know sometimes when friends can, come around and things of that nature, being like, all right, well, as long as everybody's on assignment in a sense or knows what they're doing, like I don't
Mm-hmm.
really like the whole notion of like people standing around and not really doing anything. But I've encountered that where, people weren't doing anything and just there just to be like, oh yeah, I want to just show up because it's Jay, and that's cool. I appreciate everybody that donates, supports, pulls up, shares a flyer, and everything like that. I truly do. But sometimes they don't understand that leadership that goes on where it's like, I bet, like, hey, nah, bro, I don't need this right now. Or,
Mm-hmm.
like, come on, like, can we focus on this? Like, just the execution part because that's very very big in addition to the presentation too.
Okay. Um, so I'm sure we've all had it, whether it be like somebody's auntie or uncle or your frenemy or just a plain hater, be like, oh, your little business, your little speaking,
Oh
your
yeah.
little stuff. How do you deal with that? How do you respond?
So it's interesting because like I said before, I was in this community space, speaking space, and things of that nature. I think a lot of people got accustomed to me rapping so much that when I tried something new, they're like, okay, like,
Someone here spitting them
nah,
bars,
bro,
huh?
like, what what is this? Like, what are you doing? Like, nah, bro, I get back to the studio, go back to rapping. And I ain't gonna lie, like, I was stunned for a second. I'm like, I know we did shows together and all that. So, like, what you mean, like, go back to the studio? Like, I'm trying something new. Like I'm transforming because I truly felt like, yo, God is telling me like, yo, it's not sitting there saying like you're done as a rapper. It's just that no, I feel like this is more purposeful for you right now. So I was just trusting God, seeking God, and just moving forward. And then as time progressed, it was like, oh man, I love what you're doing. Oh man, I see what you're doing. But I think that sometimes people see what you do and they can salute what you do, but some people may be surprised at what you do and how long you just keep doing it to the point it's like that's what defines you now. So I think that that's what it is for me. So all of it played a factor. Like yeah, of course, I rap before I speak, and then all the community stuff. So it's like all the stuff I was rapping in my songs back then, it's full circle now. Like I listen to my songs and I'm like, bro, I did say stuff about community. I did say stuff about who's going to lead and all this. And now it's just embracing all of the stuff that I was rapping about. So yeah, I'm living what I rap. So yeah.
So I met Jay as like the speaker, the community like advocate. I never met Jay as the rapper. So tell me about Jay as the rapper.
Jazz the rapper was really cool. I can say that for a fact. Like, yeah, I was really cool. Like, the conscious guy. Like, I was more of I guess the backpack always had a message type, not necessarily physically wearing one, but like
Mhm.
that type of era. You know what I'm saying? So I think that when it comes to it, it's just like I always had a message when I was rapping and just letting people know like, yo, it's positivity out here. So everything was really positive and it was really nothing like negative. And I felt like rapping is just journalism. I just report what I see.
That's why you had on the bars. So you had did your speech a few weeks
Yeah, I
ago.
took that and you know what I'm saying
They
and
were
put that
fire
into the.
bars, by the
Yeah,
way.
I
I must
appreciate that.
applaud. They
Yeah,
were
I
absolutely
wake
fire
up, I
bars.
say a prayer, then I start my day. turn on the news, people wilding out. It's not okay, you
I
know.
almost mistook you for a poet, but I was like, rapping is poetry pretty much.
Yeah, for sure.
So, how long did you rap for? Because I'm interested.
Uh,
I'm interested in this
I
too.
ain't gonna lie. I picked up so I always was I was writing raps ever since I was in high school for real, but I ain't really take it serious till like maybe 2015 for real.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I took it serious, I'm like, all right, that's when I knew it was like I won a game. Like I performed at places like Cafe Asia, the Fillmore, in Silver Spring, Howard Theater, did South by Southwest at AC3. So like it was
Okay.
major things, for sure. And I enjoyed that process. It's not sitting there saying like, yo, I was done, but I just felt like I caught everything that I wanted to, and even got my song on the radio. Shout outs to Tony Reds, God rest his soul, WPGC 95.5, and that was a dream come true because I remember, you know, back in elementary school listening to that radio station all the
Yeah,
time
me
with my
too.
mom in the car. So just to have that on the radio too was pretty cool. But yeah, music was really cool for me, and I'm really passionate about music and hip hop and all that. Still connect to people that way, and yeah, just full circle.
I love it. And I think I want to like circle back to something you had said earlier was that when we talked about that everyone how they call your stuff little this or little that. And we know how that can do, especially if you start doing something new. When people start, I guess, seeing you as like you said, the rapper, they were just seeing you as doing this and doing that. They try to place you in this box, but as soon as you start doing something else, it never takes away your talent. And I think a
Nah,
lot of people forget that. It's like even for me doing poetry for 13 years, when I started going out and branching out as an entrepreneur 3 years ago with Phenomenal Cocktails with my business, it was like, oh, your little business. I was like, I got very offended because I'm like, y'all have no idea what it takes to
yeah,
start a business.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It takes a lot for real.
I
It
feel
really
like some
does.
people say, "Oh yeah, I just want to do a business. How want to do a business? Do a business," but I don't think we really show the real transparency behind getting all your licensing, your permits, doing your taxes now differently, like
Right,
writing off your business and making sure like now you move as a business because you're not just moving as yourself anymore. Because
right,
even then, as a rapper or even a poet or even as a speaker, you still are an entity. You still are a business.
right.
And
Exactly.
a lot of people don't understand that, nor do
Nah.
they see it or know about like the late nights that we're up writing
Yeah, you up
or
writing, you up grinding. It's like, I bet, like, okay, I got a gig on Saturday. That means I'm not partying or clubbing on Friday, like, or anything like that. And I don't knock that either, but it's just like, it's just a whole nother level when it's like, yo, this me, and I really want to lock in. Like, this is my goal, and it's
mm-hmm.
my dream. And guess what? Like, you can't do it for me. I got it.
Wow, especially when you're a solopreneur, they just really don't understand like the time, the patience it takes, and how your to do list. We both know there's always something to do.
Nah, for sure. Definitely. Like, even on the off days, I'm like, okay, what else can I do? Like, how's the rest of my week gonna look
Yes.
like? Oh, my month, or what it is about the year. Like me, I'm so futuristic, so I'm just thinking like
Mm-hmm.
long term all the time. And it's
Yes.
like, yo, I got to get through the day so I can see tomorrow and all that. So it's like, all right, Jay, give yourself some grace. Like you can be all
Okay,
right.
I like it. So tell us about. I want to know more about your podcast. Have you had guests on there? Have
Yeah,
you done some like when you're actually going live at community events? Like, tell us where we can find that and also to listen to it.
yeah, so Grind Hard Dream Big. I've had wonderful people on there. DJ Bree Mafia. Who else did I have on there? I had my homie TJ on there as well.
Okay.
I had mental health advocates, business owners. There's so
Mm-hmm.
many people that's been on there. And we just the goal really is to inspire the next person. So just sharing the grind, the ins, the outs, whatever you do, and really just hoping that you can, inspire the next person, motivate them, uplift and entertain. We have a little fun on there too. So it's not really just okay, you're just tune in at 7 or tune in at 11. It's not just that. It's just more so like, hey, look, this is a conversation with somebody that you can relate to. Because I want people to relate to the people that I bring on. I know a lot of people like, entrepreneurship. A lot of people may like, a rapper, things like that. So just having some cool people, some cool homies that I know, and just bringing them along and just sharing their journey as well. And everybody that's been on there, I appreciate them, and we all work together, and we always find ways that we can build and expand. So some of the people that I've had on my podcast really built, building this network where I'm able to do more community events. And like I said, that was really key, especially with the youth summit that I did with Mayor Cross. And shout out to Mayor Cross in the city of Glen Arden, because we were able to partner and do
Okay, let's talk about that. Okay.
that.
What was the youth summit that you did, and how long ago was it?
So the youth summit was February the 4th this year. We're actually running it back
Yes.
February 3rd next year
That's one back.
in Glen Arden. So basically what we did in Glen Arden is we had over 400 kids there. We taught them mental health. We taught them financial literacy. Shout outs to Backpack Jeff. He actually taught the kids about financial literacy and entrepreneurship. Did a creative writing class as well. So the kids did that, had a podcast workshop. So we had different workshops for the kids, and we had youth performances. This time around, we're going to do the same thing, but we really want the kids to talk to us. So we're going to set something up where, they can have panel discussions and talk to us, and really, we can really meet them in the middle and talk to them about school environment, gun violence, social media, etc.
Because that is very important.
Yes.
Right now, especially because it's different from like when did you graduate?
So I graduated 2010.
Oh, so we're the same. Okay, so we graduated at the same time. So like like when we were growing up, I feel like what was it? It was Sandy Hook a little bit. I think Sandy Hook when we were in school. And
Right.
we had Columbine, of course.
Right.
We like reference for September 11th.
Right.
Reference, but I feel like we had social media, but it still was kind of like up on the climb. It was just us. It was still like when Facebook was kind of early Facebook, and we were just like, Talaya is drinking a Coke.
Right. Yeah, I think it's like social media was like we were growing up with the app, so it's like we see it in age. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
Facebook. Oh, wait, MySpace. Oh, Facebook.
Or Black Planet.
Oh, Twitter. Oh, now
Mhm.
Instagram. So it's like, yeah. But now they got all the access in the world.
Yes, and it's just always such in their face. Like news comes like within half a millisecond, and
Right.
it's just very fast. Especially, I can't imagine now being a student and just not knowing what may happen today in school. Like
Right.
when we were thinking about it, especially because we both went to PG County schools, we're just like, okay, so like, what's the game? Like, I did ROTC. I was the nerd, like, so did ROTC. That competed against y'all a few times,
That's all right. Yeah, that's cool.
And just wondering, okay, like, all right, practicing for drill meet, but to have to go to school with like a clear backpack and how to know how to like climb under a desk and find like where your actual hiding spaces are on
Right.
the desk, like for me, I couldn't imagine like what that actually would be like now, or even to be a parent and have to send my children in that type of environment, knowing that we already know that, of course, whenever God wants to take us, because we're all here on lease, like He's going to take us, but just the thought process behind that. Have you ever talked to someone like your mentees or any of the other students about that?
Yeah, I talk to the kids all the time. I just tell them like the best thing is I just tell them like, look, whatever it is you want to accomplish, go ahead and accomplish, but be safe. Like just know that, I love you. I'm here for you. And if you need me, just don't be afraid to reach out. I think sometimes that's the hard thing. A lot of the kids, they're very rebellious. And because they're rebellious, like they're eager to learn, they're eager to do all of these things, and they want to know how to. It's just that they don't see that representation. Some of them may never seen somebody be positive, so all they know is negativity, or it's kind of hard. They may not have a male figure, they may not have a female figure to look up to, so it's hard. So they're in survival mode. But I just really focus on live more. What is it that we can do? So I realized my interactions. I always think of the things that I wanted when I was a child, or how I can make them smile, because that's very, very powerful. Like you can make their day, or you can break their day. But I'd rather make their day instead of break their day, and understand that it's still responsibilities at the end of the day. We still have to do these things. We still have to work and stuff like that. But we can also have fun too.
Yeah, so you kind of keep them away from
Yep.
just thinking about that part.
Yeah, creating the safe spaces for them, and that's what these community events has allowed them to do as well. Having a safe space where they're around other kids, but they're also around other adults that look like them, not too far from them, and they can meet them in the middle. So it's really cool with me. And like I said, with music, I always tell the kids all the time, especially the boys. I'd be like, "Yo, you could be NBA young boy today, or you could be J. Cole. Who you want to be?" Or like for the girls, it's like For the girls, it's like, okay, you could be Cardi B today, you could be Megan Thee Stallion today, but I would rather you be Rhapsody or Lauren. I mean, but then they look at it, they're like, oh, and I'm like, oh, what you know about that? But it's like that gets them going because the music they listen to, and I don't knock the music that they listen to.
Mhm.
You feel what I'm saying? But it's just like I know what we came up on, and it's like it's a balance and it's a time and place for everything. But like I said, because they're so young, they're still processing. So
Mhm.
but I meet them in the middle and always taking what they deserve. So I think that's why the kids rock with me because they're like, oh, you a real one, you an OG, you. But it's like
Wait,
at the
we
same
OGs
time.
now?
That's what I was told. The kid told me I was an OG. I was like, hold up, I'm getting old now.
OGs?
Yeah, I was like, I guess, but it's like, all right, but yeah, but it's interesting to me, and I embraced it. I mean, if that's what they want to say, whatever, I guess I'm here for it. It's cool, but it's like, all right, at the same time, I'm like, that's how I relate with them, and that's what really gets them to talk.
Okay.
When it comes to music or sports or like their favorite app or something like that, and then I can learn so much more about them because like normally it's just like, yo, this is your favorite song or something like that. All right, let's talk about it. Bye. We'll just go from talking music to them talking about life. It's cool with me.
What has been one of your most impactful students that you've engaged with? And what did they teach you?
Man, um,
Hit you with these good questions, huh?
that's a
Tough
good
student.
question. Man, so it was a student that I came across. He goes to Flowers High School now,
Mm.
and
Have to be a flower, huh?
I mean, I was just it's multiple though. Like I said, it's multiple. So it's like I don't really like shining light on one kid. There's a lot of kids that are doing great things. So like shout out to all the kids that's doing great things. But
Yeah.
I think that for him, it was just the fact that he took on leadership early. Like he did his own fundraiser,
Nice.
raised money, donated money to the school because the school needed a need, I think, for uniforms for kids that didn't have any. So it was very, very, like I said, it was very honorable. And like he continues to lead to this day. So I appreciate you, Mr. Antoine Service. I appreciate you so much.
Yes, I love
Now
it.
I'm saying I appreciate him so much, and like I said, he's front line all the time when it comes to like community events. I always earn a community service, so I would definitely say shout outs to him and shout outs to everybody that volunteers with me as well. Because like I said, at the end of the day, we all learning. So that
Mm-hmm.
leadership role is very, very important in being a team
Mm-hmm.
player. So everybody that's around me, we're learning how to be team players. We're learning how to add value to each other, and it's a beautiful
No, I love that. And of course, I'm just teasing. I understand because
thing.
I went to get your alma mater.
Ain't nothing wrong with the Jags. Go Jags.
But I would definitely love the fact that these kids are, and young people are just absolutely so smart. We're still young. I'm not going to say, but also too, they gotta do a whole lot to take care of us OGs out here now.
Nah, for sure.
OGs. But the fact that they are so, a lot of them, I can also too see that they are very, I want to say just beyond their generation and this they catch on like this fast. And the fact that they do take on those roles, that's very admirable
Yes.
because there's not the maturity there for some people. There wasn't even maturity there if I think about it, like from my classes or even college or even sometimes now in my workspaces. So these young people are very admirable, and as cliche as it sounds, like they are our future because if you think about it, like us millennials, we really are. And this also goes out to my a group that's at my church called Bridge. Is like this generation, we literally do bridge the gap
Yes.
between the baby boomers and our moms, like our
Yes.
dad, our grandparents, and then we have to bridge it between like the Gen Z so that we can try to get the two to communicate and
Yes.
connect. And I think that's also very important that that we can still be relatable
Yeah.
and they listen to us and they respect us. Besides it just coming from the cliche, I don't know what y'all doing,
Right. Yeah.
and you should turn that off, and you should do this and do that. But
Yeah.
getting to, I really admire the fact that you actually get to their level and you respect them, and also too that you try to make sure that you understand them just as much as you want them to understand your message. That's very, I think, important.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, they're not going to be able to tap in with me unless I really tap in with them. So I think that that's the biggest part. And like I said, meeting them where they are and taking them what they deserve. That's like, yo, like that's really, really big for me and like empowering them through the positive words and action. So it's like I'd rather, I could tell you some good stuff, but I can show you some good stuff too. So it's like, yo, I'd rather you be able to be coachable and wanting to learn, and just letting them know who I am and just being transparent and being authentic. I think that's a beautiful thing. as well. And that's what the winner circle has taught me more of, as well as in walking into that and really just like sharing who I am with the world and being unapologetic. So, like I said, God is the greatest, man.
Yes.
This is what He
You are
is.
so amazing, Jason. You are so fun. What is your next event that's coming up?
So right now, I'm chilling right now, but October the 21st, shout outs to Good Intentions. I will be speaking at FedEx parking lot 4 right outside of FedEx Field. Good Intentions, they're putting on an event. They have a lot of sponsors out there, a lot of community resources that you can go out, come out and receive from mentoring to groceries to giveaways and things of that nature. So I'll be speaking there along with other people. They have some performances as well. So I'm excited about October the 21st. Shout out to Good Intentions, and I'm looking forward to that.
Do you ever collaborate with Baltimore with any Baltimore community work?
Oh yeah, for sure. We did something back in May, actually May 6th. MBYO had their youth issues assembly, their 7th annual. So I had the pleasure of speaking out there and connecting with more Baltimore people. So it was definitely dope.
That's
You know
good.
what I mean? So like I said, even being from PG, I just feel like at the same time, it's like, yo, it's a need up there, it's a need down here, it's a need everywhere. So it don't matter where you're from, the need is still the same. I mean,
Very true.
yeah.
My next question for you before we kind of like wrap things up is um everybody has a different version of success. And here on the podcast, we definitely like to talk about everybody's journeys of success. I consider you successful because of all the different feats, not just as a speaker, as a rapper, and what you do for our community. Which thank you again, because there is not a lot of people who would take on that feat and
Appreciate
take on
that.
that
Appreciate
platform.
that.
So thank you so much for that. But what is your definition of success and what does it mean to you in your journey?
I believe success is how many people you inspire and how many people you help. And that could either be mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, however you see fit. I think sometimes we get caught up on money a lot, but we have to tell ourselves that we're already rich in spirit. Like if you're already walking
I like that.
with purpose and you're breathing, you're alive, you're alive, you're breathing, you're winning. It's like that's what I tell myself every single day, regardless. And it's like you're gonna get to where you need to get to. So I know for me, I can be that person that can give you a quick pick me up, as in like, yo, some words of encouragement. You may feel like, oh, I feel like trash today. Oh, I heard this. Now all of a sudden, my vibe changed, my mood changed. I bet I needed there it is. I appreciate you for this. So sometimes it may be my words or just showing up for somebody and, knowing that, you need to, support somebody. And I think that, support, it goes a long, long way. So for me, I always consider myself somebody that's going to support. My word is my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm gonna do something. And sometimes, when I don't, I hold myself accountable to it and I get back to it. It's like, all right, bet. If I mess up, I know I messed up, but the only time you look down on someone is when you help them up. So let's start helping people up. And that's what I feel like. How many people you can help in the process and realize like, yo, it ain't about me, because that would just be me being selfish. It's really about being selfless and really looking at the bigger picture, knowing that look, you try to get to the top, I'm trying to get to the top too. How can we get to the top together?
What does the top look like for you?
Um, just knowing that you accomplished everything that you wrote down, or just accomplishing all the goals that you set in mind. So, like for me, I know that grind hard, dream big is a vehicle. I know speaking is a vehicle. I know that community work is a vehicle, and God has given me, the strength to orchestrate all of these vehicles. And without Him, none of this is possible. So, to orchestrate that and to possibly, not possibly, but when I do get a building, because I'm going to get a building and be able to do more and teach these kids a lot more with mental health and financial literacy services and, field trips and exposure and all these other ideas that I have is just one step at a time, but realizing how many people I can impact. So it's truly inspire before you expire with me. Really, that's
So
the
what are
biggest
some of
thing.
the goals that you've written down?
So
You know,
like
I asked for the tea, honey. I want specifics.
So I know, like I said, when I was rapping, right? Going back to when I was rapping, I told myself in 2015 I would perform at the Fillmore, and I did. Howard Theater, I told myself I would be doing that, and I did. 2017, I told myself I'd be on the radio, and I did. 2019, I told myself I'd perform at South by Southwest, and I did. Told myself I would get my high school diploma back in 2010, my degree in 2017, and I did. Community events, feeding the homeless, back to school jobs, like all the events I wrote down and I accomplished. So as far as now, um, you know, the building, I told myself like 2025, like that's when I'm getting the building. And I just truly see it happening in 2025 for myself. So that's a goal for me. And, just being able to speak more. And I realize the more that opportunities I have, the more I'm able to give. Because, like I said, it's just me being a vessel and me being a resource, but God is the ultimate source. So it's all going back to him.
Amen to that. I can tell you, I can get through it without him.
It's all going back to him for real. And that's what I'm saying with it. It's just like we're all his children and like he's all our father. So I don't see why we can't really come together. And that's what I truly tell people. Like, yo, if we come together, I would imagine no more killings, no more distractions, less captions, and more actions. Because I know I got to be the one to make it happen. And everybody talked about the NFL and truth be told, they're just making it sell the black players, but the owners be white. Dylan don't do it, you're gonna really pay the price. America's right. What's really wrong? Doing something for self or proving the system wrong. The youth dying. The people can't man up. Man, we animals in the jungle. They scam us. Don't apply and get the job. Stuck on IG, TikTok, the houses and the cars. The MLK really marched this far. You ain't got to be 21 to handle these bars. So it's just like I really want people to hear that.
Else. We're gonna give it for the bars. So I feel like you're not very comfortable sometimes or used to getting your flowers a lot.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'm not though. Like really, I just look at it as like it's regular. Like it's no, but then people be like, nah, bro, you gotta take regular. It's not regular. So it's like, yeah, but I truly really mean what I say. Mm-hmm. And I think that, when it comes to that, I always try to educate people and things of that nature. So as you can see, like that whole notion and what we go through every single day, I'm really passionate about that. So it's like when I see something on the news that disturbs me, I'm like, how could this happen? So it's just like I'm more solution oriented based.
And, I love it. But you still skirted past the way of accepting your flowers. So I'm gonna
accept it. Thank you. I'm gonna take the bouquet. I will take the bouquet. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think it's just because I've been on work mode so much and I never really. You know what? I know what it is. I give too much, so it's hard for me to receive. I think that's what it is for me. Yes.
Yes, it is, and I say that one from experience, but from my own personal experience. But I say another too because that's something I've been also too working with my own mental journey, mental health journey. Is my therapist tells me is like one, give yourself grace.
Yes.
Two, even I'll even shout out to Chaos because today it was one of the moments where I told you and shared with you, like I had an anxiety attack this morning and it was slowly but surely getting me here and getting me into the office. But I even said, hey, I'm doing slowly but surely. He was like, slowly but surely is still progress. You're still making progress by even just still taking the next step. So I needed that from him. So thank you, Chaos. But I feel like also too, when we are big givers, it's so hard, like you said, to me, I think sometimes too, I'll just be like, okay, yeah, this is regular. This is just what I do. This is just something that we just go ahead and do. Maybe cut Chaos talk about him. That's probably what my phone went off. Sorry. But this is what we do is just because you give, we're taught to give, and also too, we know that the more we give, it's not about receiving back. It's just that it's because it needs to be done.
Right.
For you, like when you were naming off your stuff, I was like, yes, honey, talk your mess. Yes.
Yeah. Nah, and it's cool for me when I do that, but at the same time, I just be like, bro, like I always tell myself, it's like I'm not too high on myself, I'm not too low on myself, and I just know that, like, yeah, it's more work that can be done. But what I have learned literally this year is like celebrating, like really truly celebrating, like taking the time, like, yo, Jay, shout out to you and the team for doing that. Shout out to like, and really taking time to really celebrate because you have to. So that's why I said I salute all my partners that, partner with me and everybody like that because like I said, none of this happens without y'all. And we don't move without the donations. We don't move without the support and all of this. So like I said, celebrating after these events is very, very important.
Yeah, it takes a village to make stuff happen. It takes a lot of people, and I always express gratefulness for God for placing the people that He places in my life, so that I can get the stuff done that I want to get done and get the stuff that I need to get done. But of course that too. But what I've also learned, and it's not being selfish, is to do you give yourself pats on the back?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure.
Make sure.
Definitely, yeah. Like yeah, Jay, you did a good job. Yeah, brother. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I do.
You actually celebrate, or do you move on to the next thing?
Oh no, I celebrate. I
Okay.
celebrate. I make sure like, all right, bet I'm gonna do this. All right, bet cool. Like I'm going to the movies and I'm gonna go see this and I'm gonna go get the large popcorn and the
We got
slushy. Like
money.
yeah, you feel what I'm saying? Like I go there do that or like oh yeah, bet I'm going to the rage room or
Okay.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll go out and celebrate for sure.
So, we have a tradition here, even still a tradition. So, we want to know, what do you want to tell everybody here that they're gonna only hear here on You Heard It Here? So, what does J Flow have for us that we are only gonna hear here?
You don't have to be perfect to be amazing. Like you don't have to be perfect to be amazing. Like all you have to do is really take the step towards your dream, your goal, and whatever you want to accomplish. Because the main focus is to remain focused.
Mm.
And like you could put anything as long as you put your mind to it. And I was, I am, I'm becoming. You're dope. You're a vibe. You're amazing. You have to tell yourself that each and every single day. So that's what I would basically tell everybody. Those are the tools. Those are the gems. Like everybody's the diamond in the rough, and best believe you're gonna shine when you need to shine. Learn how to play the back, learn how to play the front, and the light work is easy when the shadow work is
I like it. So I just want to make sure, because that was not in my head. I was like, yes, I am. So
done.
tell I liked it. So I was,
Yes,
I am,
yes,
I am becoming,
yes,
I am dope,
yes,
I am a vibe,
yes,
I am amazing.
yes,
And I don't have to be perfect to be amazing.
yes,
I repeated it, y'all, just to make sure I got it on record that I said it too. So I just want to make sure
yes,
that y'all say it too.
yes,
Okay. So we know that you have the event coming out on the 21st in FedEx Field, right?
yes.
But what time is that going to be?
So parking lot for October 21st, outside of FedEx Field, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Good intentions. It is their event. I will be speaking there. Have an awesome day. Groceries, community resources. Come meet some community leaders as well. It's gonna be fun.
Okay.
It's gonna be
Okay.
fun.
And you said what time was it again?
10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Parking lot for right outside of FedEx Field.
Okay. We are looking forward to that. And then tell us, how can we follow you? How can we support you besides praying for you, and also to give me your flowers? Or where can we follow you? How can we support you?
Well, I just want to say thank you because one, questions fire. This platform fire. It's going to be amazing. I just believe that you're just going to continue to elevate. So I want to give you your flowers, your bouquet, your
Oh,
roses,
thanks.
and all of that because I feel like this is, like I said, this was much needed. Honestly, they can follow me at JAYFLOW301MD on Instagram. I have my YouTube page, Grind Hard Dream Big podcast. You can just go ahead, try to get my subscribers up, you know what I'm saying? And making sure that we hit 500 before the year's over with.
Yes.
And yeah, that's my goal for that. So we're gonna definitely do that. And like I said, I'm down to work. If you have any ideas, anything that you want to do, conversations you want to have, feel free to hit me up. You can DM me or email me at JFB ESPN 2020, the year that we're never going to forget, obviously, because of COVID, at Comcast.net. And like I said, think global and not local. So shout outs to Global as well. And shout outs to Julius for making this joint. He a rising senior right now at Potomac High School. So shout outs to Global. Know what I'm saying? Because guess what? The world is in your hands. So yeah, shout out to Global. And I'm rocking that Global.
I want a shirt.
Yeah.
I like t-shirts.
For sure.
They
Let me
go
know the
well with my
size. For
jean
sure.
jackets. Yes.
Yeah. So that's basically about it. And like I said, shout outs to everybody. Like I said, I'm nothing without God, family, support system. Shout outs to my mentors, Miss Kimberly Marshall, Dare to Be Different, and Jeffrey Young. And as we all know, winners write history, losers become a part of the story. So I'm just glad that he is a part of the story for sure.
Mine too. I can't speak it that fast, but mine too. My husband and Bree as well, his wife, have been absolutely phenomenal friends, coaches, and everything. So,
They dope in real life.
oh my gosh, yes,
They dope in real life. I know sometimes people will be like, yo, they got the followers and all that
No.
on social media. Nah, they dope in real life. So I
Yes.
just want to say
And they
appreciate
are
y'all.
amazing.
And everybody that follows and supports, I appreciate y'all. Everybody that's working with me, I appreciate y'all. You know, and like I said, just keep going, keep grinding, and you already know, man. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream, man. Let's get it, let's get it, let's go.
Hey, folks, you've heard it here with me, TC Heard, and also to J Flow. Make sure you follow him on Instagram and you support his podcast.
Grind hard, dream big. You already know.
Yes. And let's make sure we subscribe to his YouTube page, subscribe to mine. If there's anything that stood out to you on this episode, make sure you like, comment, share, follow us also too, and make sure that you are sharing this episode. We love you. We appreciate you. May you all be safe because the holidays are here, because it feels like fall outside.
Yeah, it is.
So the holidays are here pretty much. Yes, they are. You know, it's going to be Christmas before we know it. And thank you so much, Jay, for being here for our conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you all. And may you have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day you're listening to this. May you have a successful and phenomenal day. We'll see you next time.
For sure. You already know. I said you're up and I'm up. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go.
Happy hello. It's me, BTC Heard. And I'm here to remind you to make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and the podcast You Heard It Here. You can do it on YouTube and Spotify, so make sure you hit the subscribe button. Please and thank you, because why? You want to hear more content, don't you? Of course you do. You want to hear me? You want to hear the folks I'm going to bring on here? And it's going to be great. So we'll catch you later.